Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's great to have you here connecting with us, connecting with Les Roches. My name is Marius Garella. I'm the head of marketing of Les Roches, and we put together a series of webinars during this lockdown about all the Les Roches programs, about discussions and debates about the hospitality industry, looking at the future careers in the hospitality industry and so forth. It's a pleasure to have you here. Hope you're safe and sound wherever you are in the world. Here in Switzerland, we are very excited as everything is opening up again. We are able to travel and to visit friends, restaurants and bars. The whole hospitality industry is slowly opening up. It's really great, and I hope that see some of you on campus in October and in the next years to come. Today is a webinar about the Postgraduate Diploma in International Hospitality Management that we offer at Les Roches, a program really for career changers. You have the possibility to ask questions. Please do so and chat and interact at any time. You should have a question and a chat box where you can really leave any comment and we'll answer at any time. Let's try to keep this very interactive. It's for you to answer question, to ask any question and answer any doubt you may have. Together with me today, we have Professor Gueuning, our program manager for this program. And I let him introduce himself as he's going to introduce us also to a current student of Les Roches that is here with us. Professor Gueuning, the floor is yours. Have a good session, everybody.
Thank you, Mario. Thank you. Good afternoon, morning, evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us because it's important for you and for us to share details about our program. Certainly, if you are the perfect match to what a career changer is, so more to that in a second. Very briefly about my role at Les Roches. I'm program manager for the Postgraduate Diploma program, and I'm particularly suited for this because I have an industry background, as maybe you can already read on the screen. And this industry background is really trying to put together the program that sort of ties in the theory or the academic work to the industry so that it adds relevance. The next step to that is, of course, the discussion we will have later on about the study trip. So I have that industry background where I worked in Europe and in the Middle East, different roles, but luckily for me, many years as general manager in different properties. And I have sort of a good overall view of the hospitality industry without being an expert in all the domains, but that's not my role. And we have a tremendous team of faculty who can provide the sort of niche service in their area of expertise. Without further ado, I'll introduce you to Amanda. Amanda is a former PGD student who has now chosen the option of joining the MBA 2 program, the fast track version of joining that MBA program, and we will discuss that later in the program. But I'd like her to introduce herself and explain a little bit who she is in the background. Amanda, all yours.
Thank you, Mr. Gueuning. Hi, everybody. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. My name is Amanda Margo. I am originally from Indonesia, and as Mr. Gueuning had mentioned, I am currently back at Les Roches for my second semester at the MBA program. Just a little bit about my experience. I had previously studied my bachelor's studies in the United States in international relations and economics. And I decided to make that switch into hospitality. And when I was making that switch, a lot of companies didn't, I mean, the currency of the hospitality is experience. I frankly did not have a lot of that. And so I was looking for programs that would allow me to make that switch in my career. And Les Roches had this postgraduate diploma program. So I switched from international relations to hospitality. And during that program, I have been able to do my internship at the Ritz-Carlton Hong Kong as a guest relations trainee. And now I'm back for my MBA 2 semester. So that's just a little bit about me.
Thank you, Amanda. And you know, Amanda is a typical sort of career changer. No background is sort of banned from joining us. I mean, we have many students, particularly from engineering background, who join the program. We have in computer science, we have linguists, we have lawyers, we have all sorts of things, really an array of people, which is also a unique opportunity of the program, because the group, which tend to be, let's say, between 30 and 50 students, depending a little bit on the semester you choose to join us with, but it's a small group of students who get to know each other from different backgrounds and different academic and degree backgrounds. So it makes for a very sort of fruitful discussion and contribution, because everybody has got a story to share. It's, in a way, you could look at it as an advantage to having a program where everybody would come from a hospitality background, then everybody has a similar background. So here we have that diversity that's really enhancing the value of the program. In very short, the program, so it can serve as a springboard to join the MBA 2 program, and we'll be more to that later. But in very short, graphically in front of you, so it starts with 2 weeks immersion program, and this is a program that is very much designed for someone who's never worked in hospitality. Then it rolls on. After 2 weeks, we start the academic semester with the field trip to Dubai. Then there's a compulsory internship that is part of the program and carries credit, and I'll have more on that later as well. And then you have the option to stay in your chosen field, in the chosen industry after your internship, or you come back to Les Roches to pursue your studies to do the MBA second semester. So in a way, the option is with the MBA is you can achieve the MBA qualification in 18 months. 18 months plus the 2 weeks of the immersion program if you were to do that. But by doing the internship between the two, for the ones who are career changers, it helps you to understand better the key sort of prerequisite that you may need for your MBA program. Certainly, we expect from the teaching point of view, knowledge about the industry or some knowledge about the industry at MBA 2 level. So we'll go into the program in detail, and the hospitality immersion program is very much with operational emphasis. So we are here looking at service, production, so food preparation, food service, a little bit on wine and cocktails and mixology, just a good taster on that food and beverage area of the hotel. Then there's also a week which is a little bit more on the front office, housekeeping, basically the rooms division area of the hotel. So it's designed as a taster. You don't become an expert in 2 weeks in all those operational aspects of the hotel, but it's certainly a good eye-opener. And I would like to bring Amanda here because she did take this immersion program when she first joined the PGD program, and maybe you can share us your first impression and what it did for you.
I think what it really did for me is it really helped me decide on what I wanted to do for my internship component. You know, maybe for some people, F&B comes more naturally. Maybe for some people, rooms divisions comes more naturally to them. So it kind of gives you a broad perspective of what hospitality is, what each department does. And so it helps you kind of set on the track of helping you find your internship later. It also gives you a little bit more of exposure in terms of what maybe some industry jargons and like PMS. When I first came in, I did not know what opera was. So getting that little bit of exposure and feeling a little bit more comfortable with it so that when you do go into your internship, you have some sort of idea and you're not completely lost. So I think that's what HIP really did for me. And also it's a really great way to meet your classmates as well. You know, it's 2 weeks and you're mostly bonding with them. So you get to know each other on a really quick basis.
Thank you, Amanda. it is very good to form the team, and typically we have half or just over half of the students who do the immersion program, and it's beneficial. So if you had sort of doubts about its value, it's certainly a great opportunity to introduce yourself to the jargon of the industry, to understand how operation works, and even the culture behind the scene is different from any other industries, and it's good to sort of get an insight, feel it, smell it, sort of that sort of thing. It is certainly added value and well worth the 2 weeks, the sort of 10-day program. It doesn't carry any credits, so we are not tested, but it's just, I think the experience is valuable enough without having to give it a credit or anything like this. So the program itself on the PGD is being designed. So we have from 9 different courses, and the 9 courses, basically we have some which will rely on the soft skills, and we have leadership, we have the sort of change management, organizational behavior. So we have 2 main modules around that. Then you have the sort of numeracy area where you have got your hospitality, finance, performance management, revenue management. I'm not saying that they go hand in hand, but they are part of any businesses in these days and age. Of course, you have to protect or generate as much revenue as possible, and of course all this has to be controlled, and the financial aspect of the business has to be presented to a variety of stakeholders. So you've got, those are 4 key areas, and then you have an accent on services marketing, design, facilities management, which is sometimes an eye-opener for, because hotels of course encompass all type of facilities in the asset of a hotel, you know, from your swimming pool, but we talk about the design of the influence of design on different aspects of the operation. There's sustainability that comes in there, there's the jargon that's used behind the scene, and because it's the largest in part of the investment of the assets of the business, of course, as a future manager, you need to understand a little bit how that area functions. Event management, of course, it is one of those that has a tremendous appeal because you create your own event in this case during the semester. It links a little bit the financial, the marketing, the operational aspect, the logistic, and then you have the innovation through design and agile thinking, a different approach to rethinking your strategies, which is important because ultimately, whether you come back for the MBA or stay out in the industry of your postgraduate diploma and the internship, we want you to feel confident enough to add value to the stakeholders. You know, we try to train you, to coach you, to mentor you so that you become yourself and are willing to share and add value to a prospective employer. And I think that's very important. Also, as part of a credit-bearing course, we have the study trip, and the way it is designed today, the students have a participation in the planning of the trip, then of course in the execution of the trip when we are on site in Dubai and visiting properties. And then so there the active or proactive involvement from the student is expected. But we'll come a little bit more details when we discuss the trip later. And then after that you have the internship, and this is 9 credits. So the sort of semester 1 is 19 credits, and then you have the 9 credits of internship, which is a big chunk of your studies. And during this internship, you are mentored by one of the professors from the team, and we help you, or we assist you or mentor you in developing your case study in the hotel where you are performing your internship. So details on that, of course, we'll explain that in the future. And what this internship component does, it gets you to join a hotel. We heard Amanda was in Hong Kong at the Ritz-Carlton, but she forced her and allowed her sort of thing, it's a little bit both ways, to sort of engage with supervisors, superiors, colleagues to discuss issues. So instead of just performing a task, you're now becoming a proactive intern in the hotel, and people start paying attention to you. All the managers I've spoken to with regard to this involvement think it's a great idea, because it's really a time when you can really have the employer pay attention to you and your willingness to learn and the contribution you can and the added value you can bring to a potential business. We'll go to the next slide because I'm not sure, I think we'll come back to the internship sequentially, but this is the program. We're going to show you about the Dubai trip, and I'll let Amanda run through it so it doesn't sort of come as a one-sided story. And you can run through while you see the pictures, Amanda, in a few seconds. Yes? And explain how it works. Yours.
So the Dubai trip is about a week-long trip, and during my experience on the Dubai trip, we were able to visit several different hotel properties in different locations, different products, different tiers of class, different services as well. And we even got to meet some of the most amazing industry leaders. Some of the people that we've met on this trip have been, they've started from where you and I have been. They started from the bottom and built their careers up to GMs, to directors, and positions that some of us might only dream of right now. And it was very encouraging to see and hear those stories, because it showed me that I can also be like them if I just put in the hard work and to gain experience and to continuously expose yourself and to force yourself to learn. So it was really amazing. I would have to say the highlight of my Dubai trip would have to be the Armani Dubai. I mean, besides just being at this beautiful hotel, I really learned a lot from, having the GM there speaking to us face to face and sharing his experiences. And he told me that, just continuously work hard, be open, and be ready to learn. That's really how, the key to success in this industry is to be ready to learn, to be willing to do anything, and just to expose yourself. So that was definitely the highlight of my Dubai trip. I mean, also there are some opportunities for you to explore the city as well. But also another really cool opportunity is that there is a huge alumni population in Dubai. I've got to meet some of the most amazing alumni and really build connections with them as well. Because they're in for example, if you wanted to be at a certain location, you already have the connections there. And connections is very important in the hospitality industry, because you never know who you're going to come across. You never know who's going to be your next boss or your next colleague. So getting to really meet the alumni and having that support group as well was a highlight from my Dubai trip.
Thank you, Amanda. Yes, many positive aspects really on the trip, and it's the going behind the scene, engaging with the senior managers, being treated as equal as well by them. It's not them and us visiting. Everyone is so welcoming. They can inspire you in choice of career. They can inspire you as well to sort of push yourself a little bit harder, because most will say, embrace opportunities when they arise. Just never say no, even if it's out of your comfort zone. You're young, you've got to try it. And even if it fails, well, it happens. But push yourself, push yourself, push yourself. And you get great insight. So even if you've traveled to Dubai, and many of us have had the good fortune of stopping there or traveling there or holidaying there, but going behind the scene and engaging with a sort of senior manager of a hotel and asking questions that really you wouldn't be able to ask if you stayed in their hotel, it sort of add relevance. So the way the trip is built is I try to align the learning outcomes of different courses you have and try to have visits that will answer specific needs. So earlier I mentioned about design and facilities management, and the last trip, for instance, we went to Atlantis hotel, and basically the whole presentation there was about sustainability and design of the hotel and how they cope, because it's quite a massive property, and just to try to understand how a hotel like that can apply certain sort of design features to sort of minimize its impact on the environment and hopefully save costs. Armani, the GM there, has moved. Now he's sort of area general manager for the Address Downtown Hotel, so he's still in charge of Armani but other properties. And last semester, because people move very fast, but he basically got the general managers of 4 properties to come and meet us at one hotel. So I tried to find a new hotel, and then they came to visit us, which was quite a nice touch. And we spent the whole day basically with EMA hotels in that area. But there's a great variety in the trips. Always I try to have a new property if one opens or is near opening, because it's understanding the challenges in pre-opening and opening when it's still fresh in the mind of the team. It's a sort of good thing to understand. And then we go and visit more traditional properties. And I refer here, let's say, you could have the Jumeirah properties. And yes, if we go to Burj Al Arab, it is what it is. It is built at the 7-star hotel. But, it's a less sort of, it's more difficult to go behind the scene there. Yes, we can have a tour, but it's a little bit more challenging to have a sort of open discussion. So there's a mix of things, and of course a little bit of pleasure as well, because we typically have a desert trip as well, which is always great fun to do. And you get
Professor Gueuning, we forgot one important thing. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. Go ahead. You wanted to finish your talk.
What have we forgotten?
We forgot to ask the audience who they are and what they want to take out of this webinar.
Oh, we can do that.
So if you don't mind, yeah, I want to just wrap up around Dubai, and then before we move on to answering questions and talk about careers, internships, entry requirements, we'll ask them.
Yes. So basically, at this stage, the trip itself can sort of form opinions and guide you in your future career choices. And Dubai remains a great city because it's so competitive with an oversupply that you really get the feel of how and why a hotel works better than another. They're all beautiful, they're all lovely 5 stars, but why does one works better than another? This is the sort of thing we need to address and try to reflect upon. So yes, we'll do that quick question.
Yes, wonderful.
Survey.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
thank you.
We are around 20 people online. So guys, take a moment. We would like to know who you are, connecting from all corners of the globe, I guess. Seeing the names, very complicated to pronounce. Wanala, Alejandro, Angelica, Divinash, Yana, Isabel, Ganesh, Marina, Monica, Nairi, Peterakor. I hope you're finding this useful. And now we want to just get to know you a little bit about you. Are you a student? Are you an hospitality professional already? Or are you coming from another business, other studies, and you want to change career? Are you a business owner or a future entrepreneur? Where do you see yourself? And while we close, Amanda, I think it's fascinating your background. You want to tell more about why you chose Les Roches before, among the other schools you considered maybe?
Yeah, yeah, sure. So as I had mentioned, I had studied in the United States. I had studied international relations and economics. Very completely different world from hospitality. So the reason why I decided to switch to hospitality was because I had a cousin who had studied in Switzerland as well, and she studied hospitality. And she had a wonderful career. And she was doing internships at Bulgari, Bali, and had all these wonderful internships. And at first I was like, I kind of want that too. And so I was like, okay, what can I do? And so watching my cousin really grow her career really made me feel, yeah, hospitality is a possibility as well for me. But at that time, I wasn't quite sure. because, you know, hospitality is, to be very honest, it's not the most glamorous job in the world. You're working quite long hours, standing a lot. So at first I wasn't sure if that was for me. So I decided to jump into a completely different world and pursue that. But when I was about to graduate and I was looking for jobs, that thought of hospitality somehow always came back to me. And so I said, okay, why not? You know, when you say something, you let it go and then it comes back to you, then you're fated for it. So that's kind of the perspective I took with that. And so I decided, okay, why not? I give it a shot. And so as I was looking for jobs in around the hospitality industry in the United States, a lot of them said no. And to be very honest, it was hard to take in at first. But when I asked them, I said, may I know why? They just said that, you know, frankly, you don't have a lot of experience. We really don't know how you perform in the industry. And so that's why I decided to gain more experience in the hospitality industry. And so while I was looking for that, you know, Switzerland is known for its hospitality schools and the top-notch education that it provides. So besides Les Roches, I was also looking at some of Les Roche's competitors like Lyon, EHL, but what set Les Roches apart from the other two was this specific program where you can come in as somebody without a lot of experience, without a lot of background, and yet still be able to grow your career in that way. And so it did not limit the industry to someone only for, like, you had to have a hospitality bachelor's degree. And so giving you that opportunity, it really set my mind the industry kind of sent me a different message. It says you don't have to have a lot of experience. If you just come, have this willingness to learn, you can make it as well. So it's not about the experience. You can gain that experience through whether it's internships or whether it's connecting with people in the industry. You can gain that experience and you can make it, you know, you can be what you want to be. So Les Roches really showed me that, you know, what you're dreaming of, it's not that far away. And it's because of this program, it really taught me that you can gain experience just by doing things. You don't necessarily have to come in with experience. So I think that's really what set Les Roches apart. And after I got to Les Roches, I really felt like, yeah, I did make the right decision. Not only are your professors going to teach you with the academics or equip you with the tools that you need, but they're actually very highly invested in you and they really want to see you succeed. Mr. Gueuning has been mentoring me for the last year and me trying to navigate through the industry, what I want to do after my MBA. And so the professors here are not just there to teach you, but they're also there to invest in you. And so I think that's really what sets Les Roches apart from the other schools.
Wonderful, terrific. Thank you so much. Mostly students and career changers on the line.
Which is interesting. It's perfect. This is the program for you. The hospitality professionals, we do have some joining from the industry as well, sort of try to sort of formalize certain aspects of their knowledge, and sometimes it can be useful as well. So we typically have, I don't know, in this batch here, I can think of 5 students out of 30 who are from hospitality background directly, but they're looking to grow their career faster. And the PGD felt as the right thing because it gave them opportunities and the change in career as well with the internship. So try to go and try something else without taking the risk of, from the employer's point of view and the student's point of view, without taking a huge risk. It's a trial, you know, an internship, and you can taste something in a different part of the world where go out of your comfort zone and suddenly it can open your eyes. So we have the first 3 there from the survey. Certainly we have those. The entrepreneurial mindset, it is something that we try to promote as well in Les Roches, but it is something that we cannot sort of suddenly give you a sort of fast track sort of access to become an entrepreneur. It's just creating the environment that where you can become entrepreneurial. And it's not just creating your own business, but it's also being entrepreneurial in the workplace, where in a department, in a division, you can generate ideas, entrepreneurial ideas that can be useful, revolutionary innovation for a hotel. So it's not, we try to look at it very broadly. So the entry requirements, you need to have achieved to have a bachelor degree behind you, typically. So 21-year-old would be the entry age, which is normal to have achieved that. The English level 5.5 IELTS. So this is available, and anybody you will talk to in your countries from the admission team, the sort of education counselors that you may be in touch with, can run through the details. And if you have something slightly different, it's always worth asking questions. It goes for everything you will do in life. You have a few words in front of you, you may think, oh, I don't fit. Well, don't take these few words as the final answer, just ask a question. The worst thing that can happen to you is that someone says, sorry, no. But they might listen and say, oh, yes, we understand. And there may be a way for you to enter the program, maybe on a different associate degree or something, depending on experience, age, and all sorts of things. So always ask, and your education counselors in the world are all trained to discuss issues with you, and we leave that to them. They know exactly what they should do. Then if there is really further question, then it comes back to the Dean of the Graduate Studies in Les Roches, and then we take a final decision on campus. But do not hesitate to ask questions by your educational counselors. It's very important. They can clarify and help you. So other than that, so the internship, typically we have a career day in Les Roches. And in a few seconds, I'll let Amanda explain a little bit how it works. But you have many opportunities in front of you, and some of it will be sort of educational because you want to learn about a certain brand and certain type of hotel, but some of it is going to be for job search, your internship. And Amanda, probably because she went through the phases, can run through this career day and explain a bit how it works.
Yeah, so Career Day, usually it's organized by our Career Development and Internships Programs Office. And what they do is that they gather some of the most brilliant brands and companies in the industry. So when I was here, we've had Kempinski come, we've had Shangri-La, we've had Ritz, we've had Marriott. So really these big players in the industry, and some of them also not so big players as well, like, the boutique hotels, leading hotels of the world. And so we had different companies come to the campus, and they would give you interviews, they would talk to you. And so you get to learn more about the company and the culture as well from them as well. And of course, with every career day, it is it's recommended, and you should have your CV with you so that you're prepared to, if you meet a potential employer, you can give them your CV and you can make small talk with them and really try to learn more about the company. Also, it also helps you to figure out what you want to do, where you want to go. Some of these employers were hiring they brought the heads of their different countries. I remember that Marriott, when they came here, they had their HR for Asia Pacific, European and Middle East. And so it really opens doors for you. That's really what the most wonderful thing about hospitality is. So yeah, and some companies will be giving you interviews the day after. And some students actually come out of career days with the internships that they end up going to. These companies are very, very eager to hire students from Les Roches because, well, from my experience and from what my managers have told me during my internship, is that Les Roches does have a really, really good reputation in the industry in terms of employees and employer relationships, and just the type of quality work that Les Roches students are able to offer the industry. And so these companies are actually very, very eager to look for students from Les Roches. And so it's a really exciting time as well, because I learned about more companies in the hospitality industry than ever. I mean, when I came into Les Roches, I only knew about Shangri-La, Marriott, Accor, you know, the big brands. But then it really opens the doors for you that it's not just them. There's the luxury retail industry comes in, and then there's also cruises and travel. And so it really opens up the different doors, and it opens up your mind to the bigger perspective of hospitality industries just outside of the traditional, like hotels or restaurants. And so career day is actually a very exciting time, and you really get to learn more about how to improve yourself as well from actual employers.
Thank you, Amanda. And don't forget to ask questions if you have questions. A little bit more on these career opportunities for your internship, certainly. The school as a department, the acronym is CDIP, and you would become very familiar with that. And basically, throughout the semester, from the first day, they engage with you. And then after that, you know, it's a two-way relationship. The more you engage with them, the more they know you, the more they can guide you and coach you in choosing the right internship for your wants and needs, because everybody is different, thankfully. So we have a whole department doing that, and they organize a career day. 50, 60 companies come. In fact, we have to more or less close and limit the number of companies because it's too many and it becomes difficult to accommodate them. But employers love to come because they value the training we provide in Les Roches, and I'm not saying we have that exclusivity globally, but certainly Les Roches, by its ranking, and this is nothing to do with me establishing the ranking, but we're certainly always in the top 2 or 3 in the world. So, you know, employers do value Les Roches. Are regularly in contact with some employers, recruiters in the Middle East, in the Far East, in China, saying we need this type of students. And the more you are known to faculty, the more you are known to this department of career in the school, the better they can guide you and make you fit in what would be the best opportunity for you. So certainly a great added value service that is not part of your course, but it's certainly something that you can join in and discuss. And just by discussing sometimes with companies on career day, you know, it's such an eye opener to understand the future plan of those companies, the way they want to evolve and grow and everything. So certainly a very good added value. So that for the case study, which you have to complete then during the internship, and we would brief you in the future on this. And on completion, then you have your postgraduate diploma program.
Professor Gueuning, there's a question that really is a perfect bridge between the internship and the MBA fast track. We have Sebastian asking if I want to continue with an MBA after my PGD, what about the internship? Do I have to do it after the second semester? So if you can explain that, and then we'll go straight.
The program, thank you, Sebastian. The program is do the semester on campus and the internship. So basically you're looking at 12 months, yes, 11 months, let's say. And then you can progress to your MBA 2 semesters. We don't have the facility where a student can start the PGD program, then go on MBA 2, then do the internship. That normally cannot happen because it's the way the programs are designed, and the equivalence of the PGD program with internship, which includes the internship, and the MBA 1, we need to make sure that they're equivalent in terms of overall academic content and experience, and it's valuable for you to have hospitality experience before you join the MBA 2. I hope that answers your question.
Perfect, thank you.
So do we do the next questions you have, Mr. Mario? Or
one more on internship. Yeah, one more on internship, okay. And then we move on. With the actual context of the COVID crisis, how have internship been affected? Do you know anything about this from Professor Gueuning? Are they still hiring the same way as before? Are you being more flexible with internship, etc.?
Yes, so we have been, it's been a great eye opener, and of course, any crisis like this COVID-19, it always throws everybody a little bit on the back foot, and this is why we call it a crisis. Otherwise, if we were prepared for it, we wouldn't have called it a crisis. But basically, we are more flexible, but there are opportunity out there. Yes, some students, and it's true, I can't hide the fact, have lost their internship because the hotels were closed in the regions they were, whether they were in France, Italy, in the Far East, anywhere. So, but most of them had the opportunity to go back to rejoin the hotel. So basically, the internship was suspended by the employer for 2 or 3 months. As far as I know, quite a few have returned back to work now. Some have found new internship opportunities because they thought, well, we've done, let's say, 2 months of internship in one country. Maybe it didn't fit, but some have found new opportunities, and it shows that the industry is very resilient and that there will be opportunities. Certainly, if you start in October, by the time March comes, the industry will be back, not to normal, I don't think, but certainly near enough normal. The industry experts, who are working globally on statistics, and if you listen as well to CEO of different companies, they're all expecting the recovery to where we were in 2019 by 2022. Well, it's a great opportunity then to qualify in this next 12 months, 18 months. Why? Because if suddenly the industry is about to grow again, this is when you want to join it. And this is where the opportunities are. So this takes me back to internship and career opportunities maybe as well. When you look for a job in this industry, your diploma is valid globally. So you're not restricted, only your passport can restrict your access to different countries. But basically, look for newish companies that are dynamic and moving forward and growing with a big growth plan. Why? Because they will need managers to fulfill their growth. I remember on a trip, and I don't know if it was Amanda was on that trip in Dubai where we went to Hyatt, and the COO, I think it is, for Middle East and Africa, told us clearly he needs 200 managers, and that was, let's say, a year ago, 200 managers for hotel opening in Africa. I'm not saying they're general managers, but managers of divisions, departments, or whatever. And they did not know where to recruit them. So you're saying, apply for a job with Hyatt, train, let's say in the Middle East, but it could be in other regions of the world. And then there are opportunities to go where the markets are growing. So you have to follow a little bit your nose there and look at opportunities with companies that are growing, because that's where you can rise and grow in the ranks very quickly. No one will give you a job as general manager when you graduate from a hotel school, whichever hotel school it is in the world. You have to go in there and prove yourself and start at a level that is appropriate for the hotel and for us, for you. It's difficult to guide exactly, but that's where it is. So job exists. To go back to the question, there's more, I think, from what I understand from the students, there's again opportunities are coming back. So I suspect by 2021, it will carry on growing. And by 2022, if we are at the level we were in 2019, then you have nothing to worry about. But then uncertainty is something we have learned about this COVID-19. We just cannot no longer plan the same way as we planned before. But Amanda, have you been looking for jobs? Can you tell us a little bit if there's opportunities out there?
Yes, there are opportunities out there. As Mr. Gueuning had mentioned, Middle East and Africa is a growing market, so a lot of the job opportunities are there right now. But I've also been in contact with some of the alumni in Asia, and they're hoping to seek recovery, as some countries in Asia have been starting to recover as well. So they're looking at some positive aspects of maybe the job market, gradually opening up. I mean, it's not going to be like what we've seen in previous years, but hopefully, I think I read an article on LinkedIn that said that when China started reopening, occupancy and revenue started improving a little bit as well. So I think that there will be jobs in the market as well. I mean, it's, of course, yes, it's still a little bit hard right now, but one thing I've learned is to just persevere through it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Do we talk about the MBA briefly, or do you want to do the other term?
Yes,
MBA.
and maybe we do it through another question, if you don't mind, because there's a question for Amanda. Sorry, there's a question for Amanda. Why did you decide to do the PGD plus MBA instead of just the full MBA, for example? There's a question from Marina from Brazil.
Yeah, hi Marina, thank you so much for your question. PGD is specifically designed for career changers, and with the MBA program, it's sort of expected that you have some sort of industrial knowledge or industrial experience so that you can be able to fully participate in the discussions in class. Because besides just learning from the books or learning from the professor, you also get to learn from your classmates, because some of your classmates have been in the industry for 3 years, 5 years. One of my classmates right now used to be the director of sales and marketing at a hotel in the UK. And if I had come in as a person without any industrial experience, I don't think I would be able to engage with her and really gain the knowledge that she has to enrich your studies. So that's really why I chose to do the PGD, then the MBA, because once I finished my PGD and once I finished my internship, I felt more confident that I could engage in the discussions that were happening in the class, and to really learn from my classmates as well, because that's also another source for your education, and I think that's what adds onto your education, because as I mentioned earlier, experience is the currency of the hospitality industry. So the more experience you have, it enriches you, but also it equips you for future positions as well, because right now I might not even be thinking about a certain position, but having engaged with your classmates or getting that knowledge, it slowly equips you for the position you might be having in the future. So I think that's really why I chose to do the PGD, so I could gain experience, apply that knowledge while I'm gaining the experience in my internship, and using that entire holistic experience to learn more and gain deeper knowledge in my MBA.
Wonderful, thank you. So, Professor Gueuning, tell us how this works.
So, your MBA, so progression to MBA 2, the course is, we will have specializations by the time you graduate or you finish your postgraduate diploma, and we will have two streams, sort of two specializations on offer for our students. Will be revenue management, because it's an area of growth in the industry, and another area will be entrepreneurship, to sort of try to develop that aspect. Some of the MBA students who had worked in the industry would like to become more entrepreneurial in pursuing their career. So it's a sort of looking at what the market needs and looking at opportunities for our students. So those two specializations certainly can serve you well in the future. And if I briefly talk about the revenue management, it's not just about revenue management, it's about asset management. So it's taking a holistic approach to, what you have to generate revenue, the assets you have to grow a business, to add value. It's all about that aspect. And then the entrepreneurship is, basically the sort of entrepreneurial mindset, and you are sort of asked to become more creative in creating something. Both Specialization have the consultancy project as well. And there, of course, we will tailor the consultancy project to the specialization, which will be useful because it's another added value. Amanda is doing a consultancy project, and I think you're working with 2 or 3 different companies. I'm not involved directly with those, but you want to run us through the opportunities you have there?
Yeah, so for the consultancy project this semester, we have 2 opportunities. We have one with Accor and one with Irene Forte, who is the daughter of Sir Rocco Forte and is the owner of a boutique hotel chain, Rocco Forte Hotels. So we've got 2 very different companies, 2 very different goals as well. And I think what's really cool about that is that we get to learn from each other, because what Team Accor might be working on might not be the same thing as Team Irene Forte is. And so we get to learn from each other as well and from the different projects.
Thank you. So opportunities there as well to shine and sort of certainly give you that sort of competitive edge when you get in the market. So the progression, to go back to the questions we had earlier, I think from Sebastian, so it is PGD program plus the internship, then come back for the MBA too. And the experience is well worth it. Yes, it prolongs the study, or it's an 18-month sort of sequence. And the industry will be ready for you after. Don't worry about it. So that's for the MBA, sort of the core subjects. You have corporate finance and leadership, sort of trying to add to the soft skills and pushing certainly a little bit more in data analytics and corporate finance and that sort of aspect. So careers, alumni, of course, we have an extended network globally. I think Amanda mentioned already that, and I'm sure when you were in Hong Kong, it was a similar, it's a very tight-knit network of former students, graduates from Les Roches, and it doesn't matter which program, you're part of that family of Les Roches. It is certainly something that you need to cultivate when you go out of the industry. Networking is an important aspect of that will boost your career growth in the industry. So you cannot just go solo and think in a little cocoon. You really have to get involved in other activities and open up to the outside world as much as possible. And one of the ways to do it is really joining, alumni sort of gatherings and getting to meet people. Those gatherings are not just social. Sometimes they can have a sort of educational aspect to it, and it really certainly added value. Certainly something unique at that level with hotel school. And one of the great things is that typically where you meet is going to be in new product and services in the region of the world where you will be. And we have chapters in different countries. So let's say you could meet in Dubai or Hong Kong or Shanghai. And it's typically in a nice setting where we share, and we like all this because we are from hospitality industry, a little bit of food and a little bit of drink, and have a nice social life. And that's what is very important, to keep that balance between the hard work and the social aspect. Do we have questions relating to this? We have example here of different jobs. I think we saw
there's a question for Amanda about her future. What's her dream? Where are you going next?
I'm really hoping to be in the area of revenue management. As Mr. Gueuning said, it's a growing market, but it's also really exciting, as I'm someone that really loves to be analytic and really loves numbers. So I'm really looking for a position in revenue management right now.
And your dream career, so it will be
my
revenue
dream
manager
career
for the world.
Well, I mean, I would love to be like, cluster director of, revenue management. I think that that's really what's really exciting, is that you don't only manage the revenue for one property, but you've got different properties as well. And so you're really thinking about the area as a whole. So that's really where I'm hoping to be, but we'll see. The, hospitality opens opportunities everywhere.
Excellent.
Wonderful. Thank you. And indeed, here we have a lot of examples of alumni and where they're gone now, really all around the world.
Yeah, you know, there'll be opportunities for everybody in all sorts of departments, even things that you didn't even know existed when before you joined Les Roches. Suddenly you think, oh, is that an opportunity that exists within hospitality? You know, and it could be on guest experience, it can be on in facilities, it can be, you know, leveraging a little bit your previous degree to boost your sort of opportunity within the hospitality sectors. So everybody, typically a postgraduate diploma student looking for internship, most of them have more than, well, everybody has an offer by the time they leave for sure, but many have 2, 3, 4 offers of internship, and it's more a problem for them to choose which is the best for me. You know, is it Ritz-Carlton in Hong Kong, or is it Four Seasons in Dubai, or is it something in Peninsula in wherever? And you'll find that, you know, if you engage, the program itself, the course is not the most challenging. The challenge is really to embrace the opportunity from the first day to the last day, the academic aspect, engaging with different sort of services of the school to really put everything together and blend on that to really give yourself the best opportunity. So it's not just about an academic program that we could potentially replicate online. It would never work online for the whole program, because Les Roches is not just about just delivering something from a textbook and online, where I could record, let's say, an accounting class or a leadership class and just play it and go home. So there's that sort of personality, that sort of engagement, not just from faculty, but from the whole community of Les Roches, and that includes the students as well. So it's certainly a unique environment. So
Thank you very much. Yeah, sorry, we are slowly reaching. Yes, please sum up.
Okay, so basically, I don't like to say this, but learn from the best. We think we have a very good team. We have in the postgraduate diploma a team that is made of people from industry background, a bit like myself, and some people who are purely from academic background, or purely, I mean, they've done a little bit of work in hospitality, but it's very much that. And it's again the blend of those two that helps. So you have the academic rigor and structure, but you have the stories as well that go with and from the sort of hospitality background, which are added value. The study trip certainly well worth the time in Dubai. It's very popular. Every trip has been a great success, and the more the students engage, the more hoteliers open up to you. If you are well prepared, they will want to talk to you. That's what they learn from you as well. We had one hotelier one day, general manager, who turned the whole presentation, because of the questions the students had, into, and I think that might have been, maybe not with Amanda that group, but he sort of started doing a brainstorming to understand if his hotel fitted the specific market represented by the students. And typically we have out of a group 20 different nationalities coming from, you know, North America to Japan and all across Europe and Central Asia and the Middle East. And you know, for him, it was an interesting way to engage with the students, to sort of try to understand the wants and need of that generation. You know, they can capture it as an opportunity too. And it makes a very open discussion where everybody learns from each other. And then, of course, the fast track to the MBA, the Alumni Association. And this program, PGD, is available in Shanghai and in Marbella, slightly different in sort of emphasis, but on the whole, you know, the core of the course is the same. After that, it's the difference comes from, other than the location, the way we approach certain aspects of the studies. We are very sort of proud of the way we work with our students and mentor them. And I think that's a little bit different, certainly in Les Roches. So that's, I think, it. And I hope you've got more questions, perhaps another question or two.
A lot of curiosity, I think, around the fast track to MBA. Alejandro is asking, everybody who finished the PGD is allowed to take the MBA too, or there are experience requirements apart from what already mentioned as age?
Okay, so the age is normally 23 years old, so to qualify for the MBA. If you have passed your PGD program and succeeded with your internship, so the internship itself and the case study portfolio we ask you to do, then you can enter directly to the MBA 2 program. So completion of postgraduate diploma.
Thanks.
And 23-year-old.
Perfect, that's most important. Alejandro and everybody, I hope we answer questions. If not, don't forget to always leave us a message at marketing@lesroches.edu and we can get back to you, or to just check the website and so on and so forth. Our social media, very important. Check out also YouTube pages for a lot of explanatory video and things like that. I think that's all. We answer most of the questions through the as we went through. Thank you so much, Professor Gueuning. Thank you so much, Amanda. It was a pleasure to have you. I'm sure all the participants appreciate it. I want to remind everybody, tomorrow we have another and the last webinar for our master graduate school series to discover the third master of Les Roches, postgraduate program of Les Roches, a new master in hospitality strategy and digital transformation that is starting in October for really those that want to go into digital revenue management and so on. It's tomorrow at 4 p.m. Swiss time. And then we have also webinars for the bachelor, for the BBA, our program for younger students, especially focused on internship and career, which is on the 10th of June. Thank you again to everybody. I hope to see you on campus sometime soon. And thank you to our speakers, Amanda and Professor Gueuning. Have a good rest of the day, evening, and stay safe, stay strong.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.